All right. Hey, Mindy. All right. So first off, can everybody hear me and see me? And can everybody see the slides? Yes? Awesome. All right. Thank you. Thank you. All right, you guys.
So
So,
listening so far.
all right. So before we get started, while we're just giving everybody else a minute or two to get here, if you guys want to jump into the chat and let me know where you're calling in from, what kind of coaching you're doing, and where you're at in your business. Are you just starting out? Do you already have one-to-one clients? What's going on? So let's get started with that inside the chat. All right. Carolyn's already got the ball rolling. Watching from Memphis, Tennessee. Amazing. Saeed, Atlanta, career coaching. Nice. Are you just getting started or you already have some one-to-one clients? Honora, I hope I'm saying that correctly. In Ontario. Nice. Where? Me too. Me too. Who else, you guys? Where are you calling in from? What kind of coaching are you doing? And where are you at in your business? Rosie says, Dallas, Texas, financial coach just launched. Okay, amazing. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. Who else, you guys? Let's get everybody in here. Mindy, one-to-one and group coaching too. Yes, where are you? I've got 22 in your group coaching and one paying client. Amazing, one-to-one. Awesome. Trying to get started with neurodivergent coaching. Okay, cool. You're welcome, Rosie. Mindy, North Dakota. Yes, just outside of Ottawa. Nice. I am just north of Toronto, about 45 minutes. Cool, cool. Who else? Who else isn't in here yet? Let's get you guys in here. All right. Whole bunch of people rolling in right now. All right. Welcome, you guys. If you are just joining us, do me a huge favor. Jump into the chat and let me know where you guys are calling in from, what kind of coaching you're doing, and where you're at in your business. Carolyn says, Christian life coach, mindset shift coach. Cool. No clients yet in the building stage. Okay, awesome. All right. And everybody else who just jumped in, go ahead and jump into the chat. Welcome, Arlana. I hope I'm saying your name correctly. Welcome, Carrie. Breast cancer life coach. Beautiful. And Envision life coach for all women. Love it, Carrie. Welcome, welcome. Hi, Marissa. All right, you guys. Well, let's, one more. There'll probably be more in the next few minutes too. But let's roll anyway. Get the screens organized. Animal wellness care from Penticton, BC. Nice. South Florida, high regime. South Florida, have one-to-one now. Yeah, great. Okay, let me reorganize the screen so I can see all the things. I love this. Is there a workbook? No, there's no workbook. You just grab your notes and you can also feel free to take some pictures and stuff as we go, okay? All right. Okay, Marissa, embodiment coach and intuitive healing, reemerging. Yes, love it. Welcome. All right, you guys. So let's get going. I am so happy that you guys are here. Quick note, after almost 4 years, I have been running this workshop. Hey, Jamie. This is actually the last one that I'm going to be doing like this. Last one. So you guys are lucky. You got in, you made it here live because there's going to be some really great stuff I'm going to talk about at the end to help you guys keep moving forward. But this is the last time I'm running this workshop. So really excited to have you guys. It's an end of an era over here. So let's jump in. Again, I'm so happy that you guys made it today. If you're here, you've probably been trying to launch your group coaching program, but you're stuck in indecision. You're unsure about your offer, your pricing, or how to find the right clients. And you're probably spending a ton of time in content creation mode, trying to make your program perfect. Or maybe you've launched but heard crickets, right? So today I'm going to share with you the exact formula you need to help you get your group coaching program launched without having to become a copywriter, a graphic designer, a tech guru, run paid ads, or feel like you're a sleazy sales car person. Okay. I'm willing to bet that you guys have tried a whole bunch of different things. Maybe you've done challenges or masterclasses or ads, or maybe you're just not sure where to start at all. And maybe you're struggling to get your group off the ground and create that reoccurring revenue, right? So we are about to change all of that. All right, so today I'm going to show you the framework that helped Kelly go from 150K a year to 300K a year. It's the same framework that helped Monica, who is a busy mom of 3 kids under 6, go from burnt out coaching one-to-one and matchmaking to a group coaching offer with 10 plus clients, working fewer hours and way less stressed. It's the same framework that Rachel used. She's also a busy mom of 3 kids under 5. She owns a CrossFit gym. She also launched her online group coaching program as well. She enrolled her first 6 people in 3 weeks and has been growing from there. I actually just got off my group coaching call today with my clients, and Kara, one of my clients, has just sold her second beta testing client, $497 a month, using the workshop format that we created. And I am just so excited for her. This is stuff that you guys can totally do too. So guys, this is for you if you are ready to launch your group coaching program in the next 90 days, right? You are an action taker. You're ready to get things done. You're ready to move, right? You are looking for a proven method to launch your group, and you're the type of person who's excited to hear about how you can get support on a deeper level, which, like I said, we're going to talk about at the end. We've got some really awesome offers and bonuses going on. So guys, in no way am I guaranteeing that you're going to get the same results as my clients did, right? I'm not exactly sure where you're at in your business. I have a little bit of an idea now. I'm not sure how determined you are to getting the program launched. I'm not sure if you're going to take the free information but not take action. And I'm not sure if you're going to ask for help when you get stuck or overwhelmed, right? But what I know for sure is that I'm giving you the exact information that all of my clients had to create their results. I'm promising you, I will give you my number one framework that has taken my clients from burnt out, overwhelmed, not making the money they wanted, to helping more people in fewer hours and having monthly reoccurring revenue so that they can finally plan ahead and hit their revenue goals. And for those of you guys who want more help with this, I've got you, okay? We're going to talk about that, like I said, at the end. All right, so let's dig in here. This is what I call the 551 group coaching launch method. This method is based on 4 pillars, all focused on building relationships to find the right clients to launch and scale your group coaching program, okay? We can't launch the program by only focusing on one pillar. We have to focus on all 4. So 5 key characteristics, 5+1 elements, virtual events, and the direct messages. But since we only have 60 minutes today, I'm going to walk you through pillars number 1 and 2. And then in order to launch your program, you're going to need to learn 3 and 4 as well. Okay. All right. So is everybody ready to jump in? Drop into the chat and let me know. Give me a yes. All right. Awesome. Let's go. Let's go. So guys, there are 5 areas where I see coaches holding back, second guessing themselves, and putting off their launches because they aren't sure if they've created the right offer, chosen the right pricing, or how to deliver the program. There we go. You've been thinking about launching, or maybe you have launched, but it didn't go the way that you wanted it to, right? You've been creating your program. You've been changing the content, making the graphics over and over again, editing the content, trying to figure out the best order, the pillars, the pricing, all in the name of perfection. And the reason it's not working for you is because one of these 3 things. Either you think you need to launch with a full group, 5, 10, 15 people, whatever you think it is, which you don't, and run the program excuse me, the programming cohorts. Plus, you aren't sure what the pricing should look like. Or 2, you are probably trying to create a course, which you actually don't need to do. Make it perfect when it's always actually going to be evolving. Or 3, because you're focusing on creating content and you aren't focused on building the relationships, so you don't have anyone to sell to. Okay. So let's dive in here. All right. So, pillar number one, this is the offer length, okay? My recommendation here is to create a 4 to 6 month program. A longer program will help your clients get better results and ensure that you aren't constantly chasing new clients and revenue month after month after month. What's going on with my hair here? All right. Most coaches will opt for one-off sessions or these short 8 to 12 week programs. But the problem is you don't spend enough time with your clients to ensure they actually achieve the goal and stay there, right? And you're constantly chasing clients, trying to replace the income. So maybe you're not fully present with the clients that you have because you're already thinking about the next ones that you need to get, right? So you try to implement a bunch of accountability for your clients, but they don't comply, or you try to pack too much into a short period of time, making it harder for your clients to get things done. And in the end, they don't get the results you wanted for them. And they're stuck chasing, or you're chasing clients and money all the time, right? So, using a 4 to 6 month offer, you actually have more time for them to achieve their goals, to build the right habits, and reach for new goals or maintain, right? You have time to get to know them, and the better you know them, the better you can help them. And you're not always replacing clients. Instead, you're adding or stacking. If they're only with you for 8 weeks, as soon as you get them, you already need to be looking for the next clients. This way, you don't have to do that, okay? When I started my first business back in 2013, I chose to have a 3 month one-to-one offer. But every time I got a new client and thought I could breathe for a second, I had another who was finishing. It was this constant hamster wheel that I just couldn't get off of. And with no reoccurring revenue for 4 to 6 months ahead and constantly chasing clients, I wasn't able to plan ahead, to buy the new car, to save for the house, and I just couldn't do it anymore. I ended up actually getting a job at that time, believe it or not. But when I started business number two, this one in 2020, I knew I had to have a 4 to 6 month offer so that I could help my clients get the best results possible and I could create that reoccurring revenue, which we're going to talk about in characteristic number two. All right. So, number two, the pay for what you get reoccurring revenue model. Okay. So, you guys will want to create reoccurring revenue so that you start every month with money coming in already instead of starting at zero. This allows you to predict your income months in advance, plan ahead to do the things you want and need to do, like save for the car, hire the VA, and give you the mental space to be creative, work from a place of calm, not stress, and get way more done. The problem is that without this model, you have no predictable revenue, right? You're probably having your clients primarily pay in full. This means you might be having some really amazing months, typically followed by some pretty crappy ones. And you're trying to make sales from a place of stress and need and urgency instead of calm and ease and the ability to really solve their problems. And you can't plan ahead and you never know how much money is coming in, right? So what do? You go back and you sell one-to-one because you know you can charge more and you need to hit your revenue goals, whatever that might be. But all that does is fill up your calendar and give you less time to focus on building up the group and leaves you in the same position that you were 3, 6, and even 12 months ago, right? If you keep stacking the one-to-ones, eventually you're going to realize you've taken on too many of them and you'll be totally burnt out. Then you'll need some time to recover. So you take fewer clients, the revenue drops, and the whole thing kind of starts again, right? So, in order to transition to group, it may require some overlapping of one-to-one and group at the same time so that you make the money that you need, but it is totally doable to do both. In the pay for what you get revenue model, it means that they pay for exactly what they get within the month. They have 4 to 6 month commitment to those monthly payments, which allows you to predict your revenue, plan ahead, and start each month knowing the revenue that's coming in minimum, right? This allows you to work from that place of calm and creativity and will lead to way more clients and revenue, okay? With the pay for what you get revenue model, you'll also be able to hire because you're confident you can pay. You'll have very few refunds and it's a smaller investment for the client at one time. Okay. With paid in fulls, you often get on this revenue roller coaster, no predictability, more refunds, people who don't stay committed to the program, right? So we want to focus on pay for what you get. And then you can do some paid in fulls if you want to, but I wouldn't use it as your main method. Okay. When I started using this model, everything changed. The energy of money coming in every month gave me the space I needed to focus on the work and my clients, not on the money. And I hit 100K in the first 16 months of running this business because of the reoccurring revenue model. Okay. When I started working with Amanda, she was working a 9 to 5 job. She really wanted to quit. She had 2 small kids at home. She had a few clients who were paying her. She was probably making between $200 and $300 a month, but it was inconsistent. She didn't know when it was coming in, etc. Right? So instead, we launched her group coaching program with 13 people, and she was able to 7x her monthly revenue, then making 2,100, 22, 23 or more. Okay. All right. So let's keep going into number 3. Okay. So this step is where we are talking about a resource library versus a step-by-step course. So I get asked this all the time. And when I share my method, every single coach I have talked to breathes this huge sigh of relief. So guys, the idea here is that we are going to help you get your members area content ready to launch with ease and be able to meet your clients where they're at. No rigid systems. You can direct people where they need to go based on what they need in that moment. Okay. So the challenge with this one is that most coaches think that they have to create this step-by-step course. So you spend hours and hours agonizing over how to create the content, asking yourself questions like, what should I include? What should the pillars be? What order do they go in? Right? And you change things. Excuse me, and you update things and you change them again, and maybe you even change them back, right? And you worry that you're missing something, or you're wondering what happens when you want to add or change something, and it is exhausting. So you try to fix it by taking a course about course creation, or you're constantly creating more content so that you don't miss anything. And you spend all of your time updating, editing, and working so hard on the content that you actually forget to focus on building the relationships. And then if you've tried to launch already, you heard crickets because you didn't have anyone in your pipeline to actually sell your offer to, right? So I literally cringe at the idea of you guys feeling like you have to do this. You do not have to do this. You don't have to try to predict exactly what your clients need. If you already have a one-to-one offer or resource vault, you can totally use that. You don't need to have it laid out step by step. This is what your group coaching calls are for, okay? Instead, we're going to create a library of resources that you can refer them to. So don't worry about things being in a specific order. The offer is not self-study, right? So you don't need it to be step by step by step. You'll use the calls to direct them where they need to go next, okay? What you really need to do is focus on lead generation and sales, not on content creation, okay? And also understand that your vaults, your resources are always going to be evolving. You're going to want to change things, update things, remove things, all that stuff, okay? Is everybody with me here? Guys, if you have questions here, I want you to hang tight to them. We're going to get to them at the end, okay? Okay, awesome. So how many of you guys are feeling relieved that you actually do not need to create a course? Jump in the chat and let me know. I see some hands going up. No, all good, Jamie. Just hold on to it so I don't miss it, okay? Okay, totally fine if you already have your course. Totally cool. But if you don't, you guys don't need to be stuck on that. Okay, so this is good. A little bit of relief already. Now, let's talk about the next one. This is a big one. So guys, here we're talking about rolling versus closed enrollment. So another really common question, right? So the promise here is, I recommend that you are using rolling because it's going to help you get launched faster. It's going to help you stack your revenue as well, right? Most coaches think that you need to run your program in cohorts with a start date and an end date, like 8 weeks starting on April the 15th, right? So you create this program that's 8 or 12 weeks long, which we already talked about, and you put this massive pressure on yourself to get 5, 10, 15, 20 clients at a time, whatever it is for you, in order to start the group. And since you need X number of people, you keep pushing back your launch because you aren't sure if you'll get enough. and you think you'll look like a loser if you only have one or two people in the group to start, right? So you never actually launch it. So I want to know right now in the chat, how many of you guys have pushed back your launch at least once because you were afraid that you wouldn't have enough people? Jump into the chat. Let me know. Yeah, Carrie's saying, yeah, Marissa. Okay, Jamie, me too. I was afraid of June Girl because no one would come. Yes, yes. Okay. Okay. So we don't need to do that. Good news, everybody. Right? So we don't want to be stuck in the same place that we were 3, 6, 12 months ago. Okay. So let's talk about rolling enrollment. Guys, this means, excuse me, that you can bring people in at any time. This way you don't have to have a huge group to start. You can literally start with 1, 2, 3, I don't care, right? And then keep adding people. Stop putting so much pressure on yourself to launch and get 10 people at a time, or worry that if you only get 2, that you only can work with those 2 for the next 4 to 6 months and you can't make any more money, right? This is crazy. This is too much pressure. Then you're going to continue to add people into your group whenever you want. This way, you'll never be saying no to helping someone or adding and stacking your revenue, right? Then I get lots of people who ask me, like, what if I have someone who's new, excuse me, and someone who's been with me for a long time, right? What do I do? How do I handle that? So, a few things here, right? First of all, this is the magic of group coaching, okay? People need reminders. They need to start hearing and learning things ahead of time. So you're going to have your people who have been with you for a long time who are hearing the newbies going, ooh, I haven't heard of that question in a while. I haven't thought of that thing in a while. I really should be doing that, right? So they're learning. Then you're going to have the newbies who are listening to the people who have been with you for a while, and they're going to go, oh, okay, I'm starting to understand. I'm starting to learn the language. I'm starting to see what's possible for me. I'm starting to see the challenges that I can get prepared for, right? So everybody's learning from each other. Also, when you're running group coaching with rolling enrollment, we're not going to be running trainings on your group coaching calls. So it's not going to be week 1 is this topic, week 2 is that topic, week 3 is that topic. All of that stuff can live in the resource vault behind the scenes, and each person can go through it on their own time. When they come to the group coaching call, you're actually going to be doing solely Q&A, so you can actually help them rather than be teaching during your coaching hour. Okay, is this making sense, you guys? Okay. 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 Hey, Tasha. Okay, for those of you guys who have questions, all good. We're going to get to a Q&A at the end, and then we can chat. Yes, absolutely. Q&A on the call, no material. All the material is inside the vault. They do it on their own time. It's super easy, I promise you guys. So just to give you an idea, this idea of rolling enrollment came from my fitness career. So before I started coaching online, I was actually a personal training regional manager for the biggest fitness company in Canada. I was overseeing 13 different locations with 100 personal trainers or more underneath me. And basically what would happen is I was coaching these 13 managers for each club. And I would have some managers who had been with me for 2 and 3 years and some who were brand new. But on that call, I had all of them, and I had to be able to coach them all in the same place, right? On the same call, but still give them what they need. So yes, of course, I was spending some more time with the newbies and teaching them and training them and all that stuff, which you guys will be doing through your resources in your vault. But everybody was coming to the same call, and not everybody was in the same place. Okay. So I've been doing this format for years and years and years. It's probably going on, I don't know, 15 now. So this format works. It is simple. It is not complicated. I want you guys to think about coaching people one-to-one in a group format. So every person is getting your attention on that call, but they're all there listening and learning from each other. Okay. If you guys have more questions, we're going to get to them at the end with Q&A. Okay. All right. So let's talk about number 5, personal invitation. So the idea here is I want to help you guys build relationships with your audience, increase your conversions, and get more people into your group without having to learn a whole bunch of tech, copywriting, and design skills. Okay. The challenge here is you've all been told that you have to have an email list. I call BS on that. That you have to do big launches. No, you don't. That you need to learn how to write sales copy, that everything should be automated. No and no. Okay. But nobody is talking about the conversion rate from the system. It's about 1% or less. So for every 100 people on your email list, you might get one person who joins your program. Okay. And that's if you're doing everything well. And if we're new, then we may not be a professional copywriter level just yet, right? So I want you guys to really be aware that we do not need to build an email list. You do not need to do all these big fancy launches. What you need to do is get connected to your people, right? But instead, what most people do is they try to automate, become a copywriter and a designer. You spend time, like a ton of time, learning tech. You write this long email sequence to get people to buy your offer. Maybe you're even trying to sell from a sales page instead of from calls, all in the name of automation, but the volume and the conversions just aren't there, right? So let's say you had a list of 1,000 people. If your list open rate is about 20 or 25%, only 200 or 250 people are opening, right? Then about 1% to 3% are going to click on your sales page, and 1 to 3% are going to buy. So what it means is the numbers just aren't there, okay? This doesn't mean never build an email list. Of course, you guys are all on mine. I have one. I do all that stuff, but I am not relying on that to help me with my sales. That is a tool that I use to communicate, to talk to people, to invite to different workshops or events or things like that. But it is not the sole focus for sales. Instead, you want to focus on personal invitation. You have to build the relationships if you want them to buy, especially if you are new or you aren't yet hitting your revenue goal consistently. Okay. So the method that we use are getting into the DMs, direct messages, plus virtual events, whether that's a dinner party, a workshop, whatever it is, and building those relationships, creating community, showing up as the expert. And at the end, you can offer for people to book a call, right? To chat about the next steps. And then you can talk about them joining your program. Okay. This is all really simple stuff. You get to just be yourself. You don't have to learn anything fancy, no tech, no design, no nothing, right? So when I started running my first masterclass in my first business, I maybe had 10% of people show up who registered. Everything was done through email and social media posts and all that stuff. It didn't work, right? And then when I started doing it this way, I was having a much higher show rate in the DMs, much higher call booking rate, much higher conversion rate into sales, okay, and into the program. All right, here are just a couple other of our awesome clients from the Time Freedom Club. We have Delita. She actually had a $25,000 launch. She had 5 clients join her beta program. Totally crushed it. We had Tony, who went from doing 200K one year to doing 300K the following year, on track to 300K. We have Bridget. She launched with her 2 first clients, and then she kept building after that. We have April, who actually just finished the program a little while ago. She's got 10 clients in her group coaching program. So this is all totally, totally doable. So I wanted you guys to see what this can look like, okay? So over 6 months. So at the top, you'll see these are obviously not the months anymore. February should become April. But the months will be April, May, June, July, August, September will be your 6 months. At the top level, it's if your clients are paying $300 a month and you are gaining 3 clients a month. So they're paying $300 a month over 6 months. So the first month, $900. The second month, now you have 6 clients, $1,800. 27, 36, and so on until you get to 6,000, over 6,000. In the bottom level, it's if they are paying $500 a month. So you guys can see how quickly this can stack, and you could be making between 6 and 10K within 6 months, just with 3 clients every single month. How many of you guys would like to see this in your business? Drop it in the chat. Yes, yes, yes. Let's get some more in here. Okay, so this is totally doable, you guys. This is not 6 teen people at a time. This is not all these crazy things. This is 3 new clients a month. Okay. All right. So, are we ready to build the group coaching offers? So, first things first, we need to talk about the big promise. Before we build our programs, we need to know what the transformation is. Okay. We do this by creating an I help statement, which I'm sure most of you guys have heard of before. So, for example, ours is we help coaches launch and scale their business with group coaching so they can impact more people, work fewer hours, and make more money. So, what is the result that they will get from working with you? Will they lose 30 pounds? Will they have a podcast launch? Will they increase their sales by X percentage? Will they find the love of their life, right? Will they feel more fulfilled, have more energy, have more friends, have a social life? What are they trying to achieve, right? So first we need to know what the transformation is going to be. If you guys don't have this yet, make yourself a note that you need to figure this out, okay? All right. So now let's talk about the 5+1 elements. I'm going to go through each of these one by one. I'm going to give you some examples. So if you guys want to take screenshots, you want to take pictures, you totally can, okay? So one-to-one, group, check-in, reviewer audit, resources, and bonuses. Those are the 5+1 elements. All right, so element number 1 is one-to-one, okay? So I believe that every group coaching program should have one-to-one in it. So I don't call it hybrid because to me, group coaching has one-to-one, okay? So you can include as many or as few of the options that I've given you as you like. Just remember that the more you include, the higher touch it is, the higher the program pricing should be, okay? So the goal with one-to-one is that you're creating personalization within a group coaching program. You're ensuring that you're getting to know your clients as people as well, right? So how do you want to include one-to-one? It depends on how closely you want to work with your clients, your philosophy on group, and your schedule, right? So you could have an initial strategy call. I would say 100% of our clients do that, an initial strategy call. You could set them up with a custom plan. Inside the Time Freedom Club, we provide a 90-day custom plan when you guys first get started, okay? You could have a mid or end program call. You can have back pocket calls as well. These are calls that clients can use at any time throughout the program to just get some extra support, right? Maybe they want to talk about something that's more personal. They don't want to share it in the group. Maybe it's urgent, right? Maybe they needed to do a little bit of a deeper dive. Those are the back pocket calls. Okay. Then we've got group element. So, of course, in your group coaching element, we are trying to create community and help them learn from each other and leverage your time. So, again, 99% of my clients are using weekly coaching calls. If you have a really great reason to do them bi-weekly, you could do that, but I recommend weekly if you can. Facebook group, Facebook Messenger group, virtual events, some kind of networking within your client groups, workshops, anything that's happening with everybody live on Zoom or whatever platform you're using together. This is where we're creating community. So again, you guys can choose how many of these you want to do. You can choose how often you want to do them, but those are just some ideas, okay? Just give you a sec to kind of take a look, take a quick screenshot or a picture if you need to. All right, next one is the check-in element. So this one here is designed to help you get them better results because you know what's going on with them. There is no such thing inside of our program as leaving clients to let them be and not worry about them if they're not showing up. No, we are checking in with them, making sure they're on track, making sure they're good to go, seeing if they need anything, right? So this check-in element could be through email, it could be through DMs, it could be through whatever app you want. Doesn't matter. Voxer, WhatsApp, Facebook group, whatever you want. So something where you are checking with them to make sure they're staying on track, to see how they're doing, to find out if they need anything. This is a really quick message, but it's massive, massive value for them and helps them get results. Then we've got review or audit element. So again, this one here is to also help provide customization and some accountability, right? This is going to get your eyes on exactly what's going on, be able to give them specific feedback that you may not be able to provide in the group setting, okay? So this could, for example, this could be food journals or workout logs if you're a health and fitness coach. This might be some affirmations or a habits tracker if you're a life coach. Maybe this is submitting their online dating profile if you're a relationship dating coach, right? It could be some kind of a financial audit, could be goal setting. So anything that they're going to actually submit to you to show they're doing the work, they're showing up, they're paying attention, and you're able to give them some really great feedback. Okay, that's specific to them. Okay, excuse me. This next one is the resource element. So this is anything that you guys are going to include in your resource vault. Scripts, tools, worksheets, templates, whatever, right? All of this stuff counts as your resources. The idea here is that we are going to meet them where they're at. So this is where we don't have to create the course. It doesn't have to be step by step. You don't have to try to figure out exactly what each person needs, right? You can create the resource library and then direct them to what they need based on your conversations inside of your group coaching calls. Okay. All right. Then we get to bonus. So with bonuses, these are typically used to overcome objections that people would have to joining you. Okay. So for example, am I going to get enough one-to-one attention? Yes, you are. We have back pocket calls that are available throughout the program. Or maybe they're saying, I don't have a lot of time. Am I going to have enough time to do this? This could allow you to give them some done for you content, for example. So you're going to create meal plans for them, or you're going to create workout plans for them, or you're going to give them a template for their dating profile, or whatever it is that is done for you, as in them, right? So you're saving them time. Okay. It might be, I'm worried I'm going to be overwhelmed. I'm going to feel alone. And you're saying, no, we have a Facebook group. You can jump in there anytime. You can message us, right? So these elements are going to overcome objections that people would have to joining you. Okay. So I wanted to give you guys a sample group coaching offer so you could see it all together. So there it is. We can have a quick look there. So I just put in one of each element. You might have more, okay? But just to give you an example, one of each element plus the 3 bonuses. Okay, everybody good with this? Quick snapshot. All right, let's keep going here. Okay, let's talk about the pricing. So this is a big one. How many people have questions about pricing? Do a quick hand up if you have questions about pricing. Okay, we got a few. All right, well, let's go back there. Okay, so here is the deal with pricing. So the pricing has to be a no-brainer, okay? That is a big part of it. And you have to feel confident selling it. Okay? You can always change the price and increase it. The initial goal is momentum. It's getting feedback, it's testimonials, okay? So I have 2.5 rules about pricing. Number 1, you have to feel confident asking for the money. So if you've been told that you have to sell a $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 offer and you don't feel ready to do that, don't do it. You have to feel confident. If you don't, nobody's buying it. Okay? So you have to feel confident asking for the money. Number 1B is you have to feel excited about the money. So you can't run a group coaching program for $49 a month. It's not going to work, right? You're going to feel burnt out. You're going to feel like you're not making enough money, and you're not. Right? So we do have to find this balance between feeling confident asking for the money, but also that it's enough that you feel excited when you sell it, right? You want to feel like, yes, I just sold that, not, ooh, I just sold that. Now I have to do all this work and I'm only making this money, right? No. So there has to be a balance there, okay? And then rule number 2 is it has to be a no-brainer for them. So it has to have massive value. And if you follow the format that we've just talked about, it will. Okay. So those are my rules about pricing. Usually my clients are starting somewhere between $197 and $497 a month. You are free to go higher than that if you feel comfortable and you're ready and you want to. Totally cool. But I would not go lower than $197 a month, and somewhere in that range works really well. Okay. Okay, so let's do a little bit of a recap. So first things first, the 5 key foundational characteristics, okay? So number 1 is a 4 to 6 month offer so that you can get to know your clients better support them, and not always be looking for new clients, okay? The 1B is the pay for what you get signature revenue model, right? You want to ensure you are building up reoccurring revenue so that you can plan ahead to buy the house, buy the car, go on the vacation, whatever it is. Okay. Number 3, or one C, I should say instead. You want to create a resource vault instead of a step-by-step course, right? I want you guys to start now. You don't need a million resources. They don't need to be in a course step-by-step. The library is great. You're going to give everyone personal attention on the calls, and you're going to direct them to what to do next that way. Okay. Number 1D is rolling enrollment. So don't cut yourself off from saying yes to new clients, right? Don't worry about starting with 1 or 2. You're just going to keep adding people, okay? And then 1E is personal invitation. No more posting on social media and sending out a whole bunch of emails and crossing your fingers and hoping that it works. We need to make genuine connections that convert way, way faster, okay? Direct connections in the DMs and in your virtual events, okay? Then number 2 is the powerful big promise. This is your transformation. So you guys need to know what the results are that you produce for your clients, okay? So for ours, the result is our clients get their group coaching programs launched with 6 to 10 clients. Okay. Then number 3, the 5+1 elements that we just went through so that you can create a successful offer that is still customized with one-to-one group review audit, resources, check-in elements, plus the bonuses. Okay. And then number 4 is the no-brainer pricing. So making sure it is easy for your people to say yes, that you feel confident selling it, and you're excited about selling it, okay? So how many of you guys are feeling more confident right now about your group coaching program than you did when you got here? Nobody? Okay, clarity, that's better. A lot to redo. Okay, Carrie, before you go and redo, let's talk about it, okay? Okay, Rosie, yes. Marissa, yes. How many people are feeling a little more confident? Okay, okay, Jamie. We can chat. We can chat. Don't worry. Okay, so let's go back here, right? So as we talked about at the beginning, in order to launch your group coaching offer, you're going to need all 4 pillars. You'll need to know the 5 key characteristics, the 5+1 elements, and the pricing, which we covered today. Plus, you'll need the 26K in 1 hour virtual dinner party framework and the direct messaging method we use to create authentic relationships and invite your audience into your program, right? When you put the 4 pillars together, you're going to launch your group coaching program with 6 to 10 clients in 90 days. You'll have reoccurring revenue so that you know exactly how much revenue you're driving 4 to 6 months ahead of time, which will allow you to plan ahead, go into every month with confidence, hit your goals, hire the VA, do all those things. And you're going to have a system that you can use to bring in clients month after month and stack your revenue. Okay. Okay, now it's time for my action taker. So guys, we're going to do Q&A in a minute, but if this is resonating with you, I want you guys to book your free group coaching offer and launch strategy call, okay? We are going to strategize together to get your program out there in 90 days or less. I don't want you to go and redo all the things you've already done. We're going to figure it out together and figure out what you need to do and what you don't, okay? And then if you want to execute your plan on your own, by all means, go for it. If you want the support within our system, proven system inside the Time Freedom Club, we will figure out which level works the best for you. We have a self-study program for those of you guys who are just getting started. For those of you who already have one-to-one clients that are looking to go to the next level, we have the full TFC group coaching program, which, by the way, this is the last time I am offering the program as well. So not only was today the last workshop, but it is also the last time I'm bringing people into the Time Freedom Club. So if you are interested in coming in, this is your last chance, okay? So I wanted to let you know that there are some amazing bonuses tied to getting started. We are doing 3 months free now, over 2K in value. You will be ready to launch in Q3. Like I said, perfect for coaches who are adding group to their one-to-one practice. If you are getting started, this self-study program is going to be perfect for you. And there are some special bonuses that are going to be available for that as well. So whether you guys are thinking about joining the program or not, here is the link for you guys to book your calls. So I can help you and get you sorted out and figure out what the strategy is. And then if you want to join inside of the self-study program, cool. If you're ready to get into TFC for the last time, awesome. We'd love to have you. I'm going to answer all of your questions in just a second. Here we go. Let me take you off the share so I can see everybody. Okay. Okay, everybody got that? Everyone's got the link. Everybody go and book your calls. Whether you're joining or whether you're not, it doesn't matter. Let's make sure you get sorted and you know how to get launched in the next 90 days, okay? So I'm going to try to scroll back a little bit here and see if I can catch the questions. Or if anybody has any questions ready to go, you can jump in. Who's got something? Jamie, I think there are a few that popped up from you. Tasha, you want to start? Go for it.
Oh, yeah, thanks. Time frames of all this. So I'm big on the time frame. So I see like virtual dinner parties. I haven't figured that out yet, but when do I do this? So I'm big on kind of understanding the bigger milestones through all this.
Yeah. So, when in comparison to what? Like, I think we have to have sort of some context, right? So, when you're
Okay.
running your events, I would say it could be whenever, but what you want to do is you want to make sure that you are preparing and sending invitations and getting started probably 2 to 3 weeks before the event. Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Yeah, so 2 to 3 weeks before, usually I would have 2 or 3 events before I actually open up the group coaching program because I want to build relationships with different people before I actually open up the program.
Okay. So then, okay. So you're running 2 to 3 virtual dinner parties,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So are you doing that over a month's time or
Probably a bit longer because you don't want to rush building the relationships, right? We want to
got
make
it?
sure that we have time to get to know them, to follow up with them, to check in with them, and all that stuff. So, probably you're going to be running one. Let's say you're ready to start inviting people right now, 3 weeks from now, and then maybe 2 or 3 weeks after that,
Okay.
right? Because you also need to give yourselves time to follow up, to book calls, to connect with people. Like, there's other things that are going to be happening in the weeks in between. Does
Okay.
that make
Okay.
sense?
Yeah.
Okay, anything else?
So if I think about that,
Mhm.
if I'm ready now, chances are I'm launching my course in 2 months, month and a half.
Yeah, about that.
Okay. Okay.
That's
That's helpful. Thank you.
okay. You got it. Okay, Jamie, where are you? It says with a 4 to 6 pay in full program, can you charge higher prices of 3 to 6K? But usually monthly subscription programs tend to be only 100 to 200. Jamie, can you pop off mute for me?
Hi, sorry, I just can't be on video right now at the moment.
Can you ask me this question again? Just clarify for me.
I think you kind of answered it. I was just curious if you could pay that $300 to $500, and you kind of answered that question. So now I kind of adjusted the question. If it's a 4 to 6 month commitment, do you
Yeah.
still offer a pay in full option, or do they just go month to month like a subscription? Do you set it up in Square like that? Is that like, does that make sense?
Yeah. So to be honest, usually I shouldn't say usually, but I don't always offer a paid in full. The only time I would do it is someone asked me. Otherwise, I want it month to month because that way I'm building reoccurring revenue and I'm able to start every month knowing what's coming in rather than having this big like 5, 6, 10K month and the next month nothing.
Yeah, I've done that, and it definitely takes away from your motivation and makes you feel like you're working for free.
Yeah, exactly. So I always like to do, I prefer to do monthly. And then if I have people ask me, you guys will see today I'm actually offering a paid in full because it's the last time. So I'm doing it special. But normally I don't. Normally I just do a month to month and then they have the 6 month commitment. But just to be clear, it's a group coaching program rather than a membership, right? So they are committed to those 6 months. It's not like they can come and decide to not to pay.
Okay, that makes sense. Thank you.
Okay, welcome. Okay, let me just keep scrolling here, see if there's anything else that came up. Okay. Anybody else have anything that is coming to them now? Jamie, you got a few others in here. Cold DM people constantly every day. Yeah. Was there a question about this? The DMing?
No, I was just responding to what you were talking
Okay,
about.
yeah. This is the thing though, right? You guys, like the reason that I started doing DMs, I used to run ads from the start. As soon as I started running my business back in 2013, I was running ads, but sometimes they didn't work. I wasn't able to sell from email. I'm not a copywriter, right? That stuff wasn't working. So all of the things that the online gurus were saying wasn't panning out for me. And sometimes the ad spend would go crazy. So the leads would get very expensive, which happens at different times of the year, depending on what things are going on, depending on who else is wanting to target the same audience as you are. And you need to have the DM strategy in your back pocket so that you guys never feel like you can't move your business forward if your ads don't work. So whether you're running ads or whether you're not, everyone should be comfortable doing DMs. Okay. Okay. What else is in here? Jamie, I think you asked me something else at the end as well. How do you handle only having 1 to 3 people coming to the group coaching? That's what I'm worried about, the group element. We just be transparent with them, right? When you first start, you're going to tell them, this is the first time I'm doing it, right? I'm just getting started. This is a beta, right? There may not be a full group of 10. It might only be like 1 or 2 or 3 of you guys, right? But good news, you're going to get 1 to 1 or 1 to 2 or 1 to 3 attention, right? So they're going to know from the beginning. There's no secret about it. We're not pretending it's going to be 15 people or 20 or 50 or whatever, right? We're just going to be honest from the get-go. And the people who are going to join are going to be okay with that, right? And they're going to be happy about that. Ooh, I'm paying group coaching prices and I'm basically getting 1 to 1 or 1 to 2 attention. That's a pretty sweet deal. Okay, so that's how I would handle that. Okay, and then Luann says, do I offer refunds? Honestly, no, I don't, because if you're in a coaching program, I've already delivered, right? So you pay at the beginning of the month, we deliver in the month, there are no refunds after the fact. And they also have to stay with the commitment, the 4 to 6 months. I mean, whatever your program length is. The reality is, it's your business. If someone asks you, I don't usually do refunds, but if someone asks you that to come out of the program because something major has happened, there's a change in their life, whatever it is, you can use your discretion and make that adjustment. But that's not the message, right? The message is it is a 4 or 6 month commitment and there are no refunds and they're not getting out of the program either. They've committed to it, right? What do you use for people to pay month to month? So we actually use Stripe and we use FEA Create, Female Entrepreneur Association Create, and Stripe. And that allows them to pay month to month. You could also use PayPal. You could use, there are a bunch of other ones out there. What else? What else? Jamie said, are you switching your focus and not doing this anymore? We are changing the way we deliver. So things are going to be different. We're going to bring TFC back in a little bit of a different way. But in this format, this 4 to 6 month full program, top to bottom, learning everything, this is going to be the last chance we're going to do that. Last time we're going to do that. Okay, then Carrie says, how do you script a DM that doesn't sound salesy? So this is the thing, right? It's like we are not going to sell anybody in the DMs. I'm not sending anyone a message with, I never send them a link without permission. I'm never sending them anything about buying something directly unless I've already built a relationship with them. So there's none of that stuff, right? There's none of the things that you see, these spammy cold DMs that you probably get, right? Where they say, oh, hey, like we help people get this many leads a week, and here's the link to book the call. Like, no, we don't do that. So this is not that. This is a much more relationship based program. We build the relationships by just getting to know them. We make sure that we are inviting them into our next events. We make sure that we are providing value with our freebies, whether it's a free training or a free guide or things like that. Everything is about providing massive value and building relationships. And the sale comes naturally, right? The sale comes naturally once they've come to an event. We invite them in to book a free call. And then if they want to join the program, they can. No pressure. If you don't want to, all good, right? So there's no like pressure sales tactics or anything like that. Okay. Okay, Jamie says, I'm curious what your weekly calendar looks like. Ooh, great question. How do you break up sales, social media, and the coaching? My other big hold up is that I'm tired of spending all my time trying to sell and not actually coaching. Yeah, I totally get that. So, okay, this is interesting. So I am a hardcore productivity person. I do not work more than 30, maybe 35 hours a week. And so my my time slots all come in time blocks. So I'm never going to be like, selling one call and then coaching another and then doing social media and then selling again. Like it's not going to be like that. It's going to be like on Tuesdays between 11 and 2, sales calls. On Thursdays between 10 and 1, sales calls, right? Coaching on this day, client feedback on that day. Like I separate my days. And then spending all of your time selling, not actually coaching. I mean, listen, this is part of the game, right? We either have to put in time or we have to put in money. So we're either spending time building the relationships through the DMs, hosting events, and all that stuff, or we're spending money on Facebook ads. So we kind of have to make that decision and just know that this is part of it, right? This is part of building a business. Like back in the day when we weren't online, you guys had door knockers all over your door, right? Like people who were coming, they're dropping off stuff. That's how people did marketing back then. So now you might still get those. But our version of that is getting into DMs and getting to know people and going to events, whether it's in person or online. Maybe you're connecting with a networking group that's in person or online, right? So we still have to do that part. We have to build relationships. That is what business is. It's all relationships. So yes, of course, we're spending time doing that. And the goal is that we create systems over time that make it easier for us to do that so that we can spend more time in the coaching side, right? Or that we're hiring people to be able to do the DMs, right? So eventually you could have a VA who's sending out DMs and they're just sending out the initial DM. So they're not pretending to be you, but they are sending out the initial connection message or whatever it is. And then once the person responds, then you can jump in and authentically be you and have the conversation. So I think there's no real like getting away from doing the sales. You are always going to be in marketing. You are always going to be in sales. You are always going to be building relationships. So we just have to try to create a system where it makes it a little bit easier for us to do that. Okay, Tasha says, can you explain more about the VDP? Can you jump in, Tasha, and ask me like exactly what you kind of want to know here?
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm just looking for my notes. Okay, so I'm creating these events, but like I know you frame them as dinner parties. So I guess just understanding the format. Is it an hour? Is it, you know, yeah, I guess a bit of the format, right? And then how do you relay that to people as well? Because I've never heard of the dinner parties before, you know?
That's a me thing. So
Okay.
I started doing the dinner parties because I was actually hosting in-person dinner parties before 2020. And it was working really great. And that's how we were building our business. And that's how we were building our connections and our relationships and all that stuff. And then obviously 2020 hit and we couldn't do that anymore. And so we went online. So I think the main thing to know about virtual dinner party is that this is not this big fancy webinar, this master class, this 80 slides, all that. It's not that. Okay. It's a really simple way to connect with your people, to build relationships, to invite them into your world. And essentially, the format of it is, welcome some breakout rooms with some questions that they can discuss that are obviously related to whatever you are coaching on.
Okay.
Finishing up with the Q&A so you can show up as the expert and then booking your free calls from there. It's very simple. You guys can put this together in literally an hour and then run it, right? So the whole goal with me is I want you guys to move. I don't want you guys figuring things out and running tech and deciding how to do an opt-in page and getting distracted by technology and design and copywriting and all that stuff. You don't need it. And you're actually going to get better conversions faster if you don't do it.
Yeah. Thank you.
GDP, really simple. You're welcome. All right, who else? Carrie, who are you DMing? Like what list you're using? Is it just people you are commenting or mutual posts? Or, okay, so I actually don't use, again, I don't use any tech for this. Nothing is automated. Everything is manual. So who are we DMing? We are connecting with brand new people inside groups that we are connected with friend suggestions, with people we're meeting at networking events in person or online. These are all authentic connections that we are making. Once we've connected with them, then we're sending the messages. Great to be connected. Great to just connect with you in the first place. Again, no sales, no offers, no links, no nothing at the beginning. Building the relationship over time, providing value, adding them or inviting them to your live training that you're doing, inviting them to get your free guide that you just created, and building that way so that you get to really know them and you invite them into what makes sense for them and keeping it really relationship based rather than on a salesy side. Okay, does that make sense, Carrie?
Yes, that totally makes sense. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anything else?
I can't think of anything. And the minute I hop off the call, I'm going to be like, oh, yeah, I should have asked her this. But I'm scheduling my call right now. So
Okay.
it's all good.
Anybody else have some questions? I hope I didn't miss anything. Does anybody else have something? Okay, so I'm probably not the legal person to ask that, to be honest. It depends what you're talking about. It depends, it depends if you're incorporated, if you're a sole proprietor, there's going to be differences in how you deal with things. So that would be something I would go back to a local lawyer who can help you with those questions, okay? Anybody else? You're welcome. Anybody else? Setting up your group, connecting with people. Jamie, you're so good. I love your questions. What if your content is in depth? How do you handle a group call for something personalized, like book coaching, where it's not usually something that's just a quick fixed question? Can you still do in a group? Yeah, I mean, this is why we have one-to-one back pocket calls incorporated into the group coaching program, right? So in the group coaching program, like when you're on the group call, you're probably not doing in-depth strategy for that person, right? They're asking you questions like, how do I handle this? Or how do I get through this block that I have? Or how do I, you know what I mean? Like stuff like that. And if they need more in depth, if they need more about like their actual, like actually their book and their strategy and their topic and stuff like that, then you can get onto a one-to-one with them and do it that way. That's why I always incorporate one-to-one in a group coaching program. Does that help?
Yes, thank you. Makes sense.
Good. Who else, you guys? Launching DMs, VDPs, getting to know people, pricing, anything. Okay. Okay. So one more time, I am going to drop this link for you guys. One more time, I'm going to remind you, this is the last time we're doing TFC. Ooh, that should have two L's on the end of it. My apologies. Let me see if I can edit that so you guys can click into the right link. Try that. All right. So guys, go ahead and book your calls. Whether you're thinking about joining TFC or not, it doesn't matter. I want you to book your calls so we can talk about your plans and figure out what you need to do so you can get your program launched in the next 90 days. If you do want to join, the mega bonuses are happening now until April the 15th. So if you want to talk about that, make sure that you get on a call with me. The program closes on the 15th. So you need to be invested and ready to go by then. So the faster you get your call done, the more time you have to decide exactly what you want to do. Self-study for those of you guys who are new, full TFC for those of you guys who are in one-to-one trying to get into group. Cool? Okay, yes, there will be a replay, not to worry. All right, you guys, anybody else have any questions before we go? All right, have a great day. Thank you guys so much. Look forward to seeing you all on your calls, okay? Bye.